Hanukkah Sameach. Did I get that right?
Yeah, no, you got it pretty well.
Nailed it. Welcome to another episode of I'm Talking to Jew. This is Hanukkah Part 2.
Yes, it is. So just like Cal said off the top, Hanukkah Sameach, that's Happy Hanukkah to everybody, Jews and non-Jews alike. We're nearing the end of the festival, actually.
What day is it right now when this comes out?
On the day it comes out,
7th?
probably,
Or the
the
8th
last day.
The very last day
Probably,
of Hanukkah.
yeah, probably. I'd have to check the calendar again.
Is there something you say at the end of Hanukkah?
Well, this year, probably not.
No?
No.
Do you ever say something like special? Like that was a good Hanukkah?
I mean, you could say that. It's not like a traditional greeting,
Yeah.
but if you had a good Hanukkah, then for sure say, yeah, that was great Hanukkah.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone listening had a great Hanukkah. What are we talking about today? We're talking about
So today we're doing
rituals?
part 2 of Hanukkah. So last week, if you haven't listened to part 1 of the Hanukkah episodes, please go and do that. That gives you a lot of background to the story.
Yeah.
We spoke a lot about the rebellion of the Jews against the evil empire of the Greeks at the time. We drew some
filthy Greeks.
contrived tangents and parallels to Star Wars, and we had a good time about it. So if you haven't heard that, please go and listen to episode 5, I think that is.
If you're just starting here,
Yeah, you're halfway through.
what are you doing?
It's almost as if, to continue the Star Wars analogy, we created episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then went back and made 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
which
like
would be silly.
anyone would ever do
No,
that.
it would be the dumbest thing in the world.
All right, so we're talking about the rituals,
Yeah.
and we're going to do a little enJEWpreneur we're going to do today.
Yeah, you've got a good idea that you're about to pitch to me.
It's a big one.
and
Probably
then-
better than last week.
Better than last week?
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive. The bar's
know.
pretty high, I must say.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do a vocabulary. I got a good one for this week.
There's always good ones.
And then if we've got time, we'll dive into You've Got Mail. We've got
Open
a
up the
couple of
mailbag.
questions that are outstanding. If we don't get to them today, we have 2 special episodes coming up over the next 2 weeks of the Christmas New Year period, and we'll probably dedicate some time to dealing with some questions that have come up.
Yeah, some excess, some leftovers.
Yeah.
The mailbag's filling up. It's spilling over, if anything.
Yeah, that's good. But do keep sending your questions in. You can contact us any way you like, social media, email, whatever you want.
Let's dive right in.
Well, so let's dive right in. Should we do a really quick recap about the story of Hanukkah from last week?
Yes. Let's do it. You do it because my recap last week was pretty great.
Yeah, and there was an excess amount of feta references.
Yeah, you can never have too much feta.
That's what you said last week.
Yeah.
Jury's still out. Anyway, this story of Hanukkah happens during the time of the Second Temple. The Greeks are oppressing the Jews. The Jews, led by a guy named Judah the Hammer, Yehuda HaMaccabee, he leads up a revolt, and after a series of battles, they overcome the Greeks. They take back the temple, clean the temple up. They go to light the menorah, which is a giant candelabra that is lit during the temple services. They see that they only have 1 jar of oil that they can use, and miraculously that jar of oil, which only contains a day's worth, actually lasts for a miraculous 8 nights.
Shout out to the name.
Exactly, and that's where we get the Festival of Lights, that's where we get the whole miracle of Hanukkah, and that's why we light candles.
It's a beautiful story.
It's a good story, right?
Yeah.
Last week I said that Hanukkah is one of my favorite festivals, and part of the reason is because it's just such a good story.
Have they ever made that into a movie? You know how my version was a bit Hollywood.
Yeah.
Has there ever been like a Hanukkah movie? Because that's a pretty good story.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Like there could be big battles and
This
stuff.
is the thing. This is the problem with making any Torah or biblical account into a movie, right? The Bible or the Torah or the Old Testament, I don't know about the New Testament, but the Old Testament is not deep enough in terms of the details to provide enough for a 2-hour movie. So you'd need a lot of extra stuff put in, and then you'd get a lot
that's
of like...
fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
They made 3 Hobbit movies. Like it's easy. There's 9 hours worth of film.
Yeah, let's not talk about those
We
movies.
could stretch the story of Hanukkah out into a big blockbuster.
No, you could. You easily could. But then I feel like you might lose some of the accuracy. Or, I mean, and even then, even the accuracy is questionable because we don't have all the details. So it's so hard to make a book accurate version when there are so many different versions out there from tradition and in Jewish literature and stuff
we can't
like that.
please everyone, you know?
Yeah, but I'm still pro it. I still think that most of the stories from particularly the Old Testament, maybe because I don't know the New Testament, but the Old Testament, there are some great stories that could be made into movies, for sure.
Oh, can't wait. That should be a new segment, I think.
What? Pitching...
Like Torah movie ideas.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
we just
it's
have to
real
come
good.
up with the shameless pun. and then we can get started on it.
We'll think of it.
Yeah.
We'll never run out of these Jew-based puns.
Our listeners might get irritated by it.
All right, lay some of these rituals on me.
All right, let's start off with the most simple one, right? I actually have brought in a Hanukkah just like last week to show you.
Yep.
So a Hanukkah is the same as a menorah. It just has a different number of candles. So if you think Beauty and the Beast, for those of you who are just listening and can't actually see what we can see, think Beauty and the Beast. You know the little French candlestick Lumiere? Is that his name? Mm-hmm. Yeah, oui. Yep. He has, 3, including his head, little branches.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah, so a Hanukkah takes that and multiplies it. It has 8 for the 8 nights of Hanukkah, and then it has 1 extra one, which we spoke about a little bit, and we're going to dive into here.
Yeah, it's a big boy used to light the rest of them.
Exactly, and you can get all different sizes. I mean, kids sometimes make them in arts and crafts with like little metal like nuts, that's used for like screws and stuff, and they glue it onto like a wooden board, and there are all different ways of making it out of clay, or you can get really elegant, extravagant silver and massive ones.
Yeah.
I've seen a whole variety.
Yeah, there could be some pretty hectic ones, I reckon.
As long as it's not a flammable material, I suppose.
No, of course.
Yeah.
It's got to be something. I like the idea of the clay one.
But you can paint it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd spray paint mine like gold.
I've even seen ones in the shape of like a dinosaur, and then you put the candles along the back of the dinosaur.
Oh, like on a stegosaurus or something?
Exactly.
That's
like
very cool.
Yeah.
I'd have like a... Oh, this is the best one ever. I don't know if this is a thing. I'd have an octopus one, and in the middle you put the big candle on its head, and then all the arms of the octopus is the 8 things.
Because there are 8.
There's 8. It's
that
perfect.
Works really well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, it sounds like such a good idea. It must have been done.
Surely someone's done that. If they haven't, that's trademarked. All right.
Yeah,
if you're listening
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Cal's octopus menorah.
God, if only I'd thought of that for enJEWpreneur.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, that would have been real good.
Anyway, so we light the candles of the Hanukkah, or the menorah. I might use the terms interchangeably. You light the candles, 1 on the first night, 2 on the second night, 3 on the third night.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. You light the candles beginning at just around sunset time as night begins, and it has to burn into the night, mainly because that's when the first day. So you're marking the beginning of the day. And like I said last week, the Jewish day begins at night.
Sunset to sunset?
Sunset to sunset,
Yeah.
That's exactly
Very
it.
romantic, I remember. It was nice.
So there are a couple of like rules, obviously, about lighting.
Of course,
the
there's some
Hanukkah.
rules.
There are rules about everything.
God, you guys
in
love
Judaism.
rules.
Yeah.
You just love rules.
Voluntary obligations, am I right?
Oh, God.
This is not a voluntary obligation. This is an obligatory obligation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? Hashem. He loves rules.
Yeah, good. Do you remember the word?
Yeah.
Hashem means God. That was
does.
our vocabulary word from last week.
Yeah. And what was that guy's name?
Which one? The first revoltee. Revolter? Revoltee.
I forgot what his name is.
Matityahu?
Matityahu.
That's the one. Yeah. Father of the hammer.
Yeah. Because he has one of God's names in his name or something.
Yeah. He's got letters. That's true. Good. Wow.
I'm listening.
You're learning a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes I listen to the old episodes right before so I can... A little refresher course.
Really impress me.
Yeah.
Consider me impressed.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
All right, so there are a couple of rules about lighting the candles.
Okay.
You light from right to left. You have to light the like newest candle first and then go backwards. So for example, let's say you're on the 4th night, you light the one in the middle and then you work your way back to the one that you've been lighting since night 1. There are lots of things like that.
Okay.
It's just a ritual. It's just about making sure that you're doing the right thing and you're doing it properly.
Do you always have to start with a new set of candles? 9 brand new candles?
Well, you can't blow it out.
No, but like at the start of Hanukkah,
Yeah.
do you get 9 fresh candles?
Yeah, you would. Theoretically, if, let's say, you had... Actually, I wonder if you can use an old candle. You theoretically would have to, because you can't blow out the candles unless you're in like a situation where for security reasons you have to, obviously, but for safety reasons. But normally you just have to let the candles burn themselves out. So if you have a candle that lasts 2 hours, let it burn out for 2 hours. If you have an oil little lamp that lasts for 5 hours, you have to let it burn out.
Okay.
There's a one big rule, and that has to do with the big boy in the middle. So
Yeah, I've got a question.
yeah.
What do you light that one with?
So most people probably light that just with a match or
Oh.
with whatever you'd light anything with fire.
I thought that was going to be more exciting.
And then they use that to then light the other candles.
Yeah.
So that's the one you use.
Yeah.
When you finish with that, you put it in the middle of the menorah, right?
That must be hard when all 8 are lit.
Yeah, it can get really,
Burn
really,
yourself.
really
Yeah,
tricky.
ouchie.
Yeah, it can get. So you put it in the middle of the menorah, and the reason why, if you look at a menorah, you can see that the middle branch, the one that doesn't actually count towards one of the night, it's a little bit raised, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit higher. Sometimes that can be higher, sometimes it can be to the side, sometimes it can be, as long as it's distinct from the others.
Yeah, like an octopus head.
Exactly.
Very
like an
distinct
octopus
from
head.
the octopus
You're
tentacles.
really pushing this idea, aren't you?
I really like it.
Yeah, I like it too, but I just think we should move on for the sake of the listeners.
I wish we could ask them in real time.
I can feel their support.
Okay, we'll move on.
So the whole point is that because that light is not actually one of the 8, it should stand out from the 8 that commemorate the 8 days of Hanukkah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the lights themselves, they're only there to commemorate the miracle. So it's less of a problem now because we have light bulbs and electricities and all that sort of stuff. But you're not allowed to use the light from the menorah for just general use. So if you wanted to read a book and it was dark, you can't go up to the light of the menorah and use that light because that's not what the light is designated for.
I was going to say it'd be perfect if you had a power out, like a blackout during
Yeah,
Hanukkah,
so
and you
that's
had
exactly
all 8
it.
candles lit. You can't pick them up, and
Yeah.
that's annoying.
So here's a classic Jewish loophole. You want to hear a classic Jewish loophole?
This is the thing about you guys.
Yeah.
Rules and ways around them.
Hey, that's
Your two
that's
favorite things.
a fantastic summary of the
Yeah.
Jewish tradition. So, because we have that one in the middle, which is called a shamash,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
from the word use. So because we use that one to light the other candles, that light is adding extra light to the other 8. And so if you happen to accidentally use the light from the menorah, it's not you're using all that light. You could sort of designate
I'm only
the
using
extra
the big
light
boy.
to it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like a mix of all of it. So try not to use it, but if you use it,
Just blame it on the shamash.
yeah, well, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
You always have a way of phrasing these things a certain way, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just figuring it out.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I'm just trying to come up with t-shirt ideas, let's be honest.
What, frame the shamash?
Yeah, blame it on the shamash.
Blame it on the shamash.
Yeah.
That's good.
You can use that in anything.
It was the shamash's
It's the
fault.
shamash.
Wasn't me, it was the shamash.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't mind it.
that's actually pretty good.
It's good.
All
I
right,
like
so
it.
that's all the candles really are then.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one more thing you need to understand about the candles.
Okay.
I mentioned this very briefly last week. The whole point is publicizing the miracle. So we light the candles at the front of our house, at the window at the front of our house, so that passers-by can see the light of the menorah. And that's why you sometimes see pictures, particularly in like places like Israel or New York, where there's lots of concentration of Jews in one place. You can sometimes walk past apartment buildings and just see like every window full
Fire hazard.
of Hanukkah lights.
Huge fire hazard.
Well, you do it safely.
Especially in apartment blocks.
You
That
do it
cladding's
safely.
going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why there's such a connection between Hanukkah and Christmas,
Yeah.
because there's both have sort of developed for different reasons into these holidays that associated with lights.
It
Yeah.
definitely makes me think back to, you know how I always get on Hashim's back about like how good he is, how good he thinks he is?
Yeah, you get on everyone's back, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's my job.
Yeah.
Make people accountable, I think.
Thank God we had you, because I don't know what we did for the first 3,000 years of Judaism.
Yeah. Well, you know, like the first 5 commandments,
Yeah.
they were all like me. Like pretty much. That's how I remember them.
Yeah, okay.
Don't forget how good I am.
Yeah.
Now, this
alright.
whole thing about lighting the Hanukkah,
Yeah.
I feel like shouldn't he just be happy enough that you guys are doing it? Everyone else has to see you do it.
It's not about God in this situation. It's about us being so grateful for the miracle that happened over Hanukkah that we want to share that.
Yeah, but God did the miracle though.
Yeah, he did do the miracle. So if someone passes by and goes, "Oh, you've got a weird candelabra. What happened?" You can launch into the whole explanation about how God helped us defeat the Greeks and caused a miracle so that we could continue serving him.
It feeds his ego a little bit because you got to keep telling people this story.
Okay, ultimately, we're a religion based around God, and we do a lot of things, A, because God asked, or B, because we feel
Very
grateful. Or God. So it's going to feed into his quote-unquote ego. Cal, 2017. Yeah, you're going to have to just get over it.
Yeah, I guess I
little
can
bit.
find these parallels in anything you say, probably.
Maybe if I muster up the courage, we can do an episode dedicated to just God.
Yeah, of course.
And just to clarify, when I say muster up the courage, it's because it's such a big topic.
Yeah, it's going to need a few episodes.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's the story of the Hanukkah lights. That's the most famous commandment, the most famous mitzvah that we do on Hanukkah. And it's really the main one. It's the only real one that you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Good.
It's a fun one. Do you give any presents out or anything?
Good question. So again, it's similar to what I said about the lights. I think when it comes to giving out presents, that's more of a modern thing. There's nothing inherent in the Jewish tradition or to Hanukkah about giving presents.
Yeah.
But because Hanukkah always falls around December and Christmas time, and there's lots of imagery of lights and there's snow and stuff. I mean, in the Northern Hemisphere, we don't really experience that. Here in Australia,
You're not down under.
yeah, there's a lot of similarities between Christmas and Hanukkah, and they're both times of celebration and happiness.
Yeah.
And so I think over time, because Christmas was a lot of gift giving, I think there were Jews who thought, well, why don't we also give gifts?
Yeah.
Over
It
Hanukkah.
makes sense.
Yeah, there's no problem with it. It's not a Jewish thing to do. It's not an un-Jewish thing to do, but it's
Yeah.
not a Jewish thing to do.
I'm sure there's a lot of non-Jewish people who would, if they haven't listened to this podcast,
Yeah.
and you ask them about Hanukkah,
Yeah.
they'd be like, oh yeah, Jewish Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's probably what most people would assume it's
Yeah.
similar to.
It's
Yeah.
around the same time as well.
But that's why I think there are so many similarities to it that you can forgive, I don't know, people for wanting to, Jews at least, for wanting to sort of integrate a little bit more into general society, not celebrate Christmas, but sort of, I mean, gift giving.
You're feeling
you
a
give
little bit
gift any
left out,
day.
I think. I would be.
Feeling left out.
Yeah, if I saw everyone getting presents and all this stuff,
Yeah.
I'd want presents too.
Yeah. It's not as big a thing. I don't think Hanukkah revolves around gift giving like Christmas does.
No. I used to think there was a present every night for each 8 nights.
I'm sure some people do.
Oh,
I'm sure some.
That's
that would
the
be,
one I want to be
Isn't that
involved
the
in.
opening line to the Adam Sandler song?
Oh, I
You
don't
haven't
know.
heard the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song?
Maybe like 10 years ago.
Oh boy. All right. Maybe
Don't sing it. I don't want to hear it.
I was about to.
Nah.
Should I get my guitar?
No.
The guitar I haven't played for a decade.
Yes. That sold me. There's nothing I
No.
like more than listening to someone who doesn't know how to play guitar.
Maybe if we get Adam Sandler support, we'll bring him on and he can play it live.
Yeah.
How's that for Shooting for the Stars?
Hey, we already said we were coming for Joe Rogan, so Sandler's next.
Yeah, we came for Joe Rogan. We passed him.
Yeah.
We're now
He's in
the
our,
most popular
he's in our
podcast
wake.
in the world.
See you later, Rogan.
Yeah. All right, should we move on?
Yeah, give me another one.
This one I think you're actually going to like. This is a tradition. It's not really a mitzvah. It's not really a commandment. It's just a tradition. And it
Not
has
really,
to do
though.
with latkes.
Oh, delicious.
Latkes, for those of you who don't know, is like a potato pancake. It's
Yeah, like
just-
a hash brown.
it's like fried in oil. It's absolutely delicious.
I really want some. I've never had it, but they look so good.
Yeah, maybe we'll make like an I'm Talking to Jew little excursion to the kitchen and make some
Yeah, that'd be
kosher
so
latkes.
good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good idea.
What's
Alright.
Okay, so tell me about them then. Why are they, apart from being delicious?
So latkes are the big traditional thing to eat on Hanukkah, but the other thing we also eat are donuts,
Yum.
particularly deep fried donuts.
Even better.
And the reason why we do that is the same with latkes, the same with donuts. They're both fried in oil. The miracle happened with oil. The whole thing is oil. It's
a
just an
callback.
excuse to eat them.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
it's great.
You'll learn that apart from creating rules and then finding loopholes to get past those rules, Judaism's also very heavily based in food.
Yeah. How about this for an idea?
I love your ideas, always.
Latke donuts.
Explain.
Like a donut made out of latkes.
This sounds like some sort of fast food American idea.
Well, if it is, it's perfect then.
How would you do it?
You just make like latkes in the shape of a donut.
But how? It's like saying I'll make a pancake in the shape of a donut. Wouldn't it just lose its latkeryness?
No, surely you could make what do you make a latkes out? Like grated potato?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure you could like make that into a circular mold and maybe
Oh,
freeze
like
it.
just a fat latke.
Yeah, and a deep fry it.
Yeah. I don't think it would resemble a donut at all. Unless you put like some jam in the middle of it.
No, it would have a hole in it. Like a donut.
Okay, I see. So it's shape of a donut,
Yeah.
tastes like a latke.
It's just a latke in the shape of a donut.
Can I be honest? I'd rather just have my latkes and my donuts.
Okay. Just shoot me down again, I guess.
No, I'm not shooting you down. By all means. Yeah.
It's a novelty thing.
It's a novelty thing. I mean, look, eating these foods is a bit of a novelty thing because really it's just about the symbolism of the oil and eating foods that have to do with oil.
Yeah, why don't you just drink a cup of oil?
Because that would be disgusting.
Correct.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, look, Hanukkah is a time of celebration lots of communities have carnivals, lots of communities have parties and get-togethers. In Israel, it's a holiday, like everyone takes off school and work and stuff. So
all of Hanukkah.
I think all of Hanukkah.
8 days. That's
I
cool.
think so. Well, think about it. They don't take Christmas off. They don't take New Year's off. They don't really have public holidays.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
surely they take Jewish New Year's.
Yeah, they
off.
take Jewish holidays. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 8's that's a big one.
I'm not sure if I know school gets off. I don't know if there's no work.
Yeah. Did you get school off here?
No, definitely not.
Oh.
No. But I mean, sometimes I have to take off work for
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like Yom Kippur and Pesach and all the other Jewish holidays, but I don't take off for Hanukkah, unfortunately.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Anyway,
Maybe one day.
maybe one day. One day when this podcast gets big, and for that we need your support. Moving right along. All right, the next big thing about Hanukkah. I actually brought one in. It's on the table in front of you.
Oh, dreidel.
It's a dreidel.
Before we go in,
Yeah.
we haven't made any mention of this,
Uh-oh.
but our theme song,
Yeah.
the best $33 we've ever spent,
Yes,
I think.
absolutely.
I love that song
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah.
It's like the theme of my life.
Yeah. Because before we even made this podcast, I've sung that song to you.
Where did
before.
you hear it before?
South Park, obviously.
So do you know how like the original goes?
Like dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay, da 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 da, with dreidel I shall play.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, well done.
It's great.
That's fantastic.
And now that's our theme song, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, so we have like a sort of remixed rock version of
Yeah.
the dreidel song,
It's
which
so
I love.
good.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the dreidel is a sort of traditional game, particularly that kids like to play on Hanukkah. I don't actually know anybody who really enjoys the game. I think I made a really
I've played
flippant
it.
comment in like episode 1 about
Yeah.
dreidel. It's not the most fun gambling game.
It's not great.
No.
I do have an enJEWpreneur idea for it, but that's for another week.
Yeah. All right, good. I'm excited to hear that
But
as always.
explain to me how the game works, because I've played it, but I can't really remember it.
So a dreidel is basically like a spinning top with four flat sides.
Mm-hmm.
On each of those sides is a Hebrew letter, and those letters stand for Nes Gadol Haya Sham,
Translation,
which means
please.
there was a big miracle there. There meaning in the land of Israel, and each of those letters just stands for that. So there was a big miracle over there. In Israel,
Was it the miracle of Hanukkah?
it was the miracle of Hanukkah. How did
course.
you know?
Oh,
Nothing gets past you.
I figured it out.
Yeah. In Israel, it actually says Nes Gadol Haya Po, which means there was a great miracle here, because they're in Israel. So it's cool. You can get different versions of the dreidel.
Yeah, based on where you are, I guess.
Yeah, but traditionally, because Jews only returned to Israel en masse with the creation of the State of Israel, and just before that with the couple of waves of immigration, but for hundreds and hundreds of years, it was just there was a great miracle there, meaning in Israel. So kids like to play with dreidels. Basically, the way it works is you get money or food, or if you're a kid, you probably get chocolates.
Yeah, I played with chocolate coins.
Yeah, chocolate coins. They're disgusting to eat. Did you ever have them? Because most of them
They're
are
very
dairy-free.
hit and miss. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not.
I've never had ones that are like good. I'd
Yeah.
rather, if I was going to play, I'd rather play with like little blocks of Cadbury chocolate.
Yeah, of course.
Ugh,
But like, you know,
Yeah.
you've got to teach your kids about gambling at a young age with this.
Yeah, it's true.
Just fake money.
Yeah, it's true. So basically, the four sides. Everyone takes a turn to spin. If you spin on the gimel, you get to take everything that's in the middle. That's like the win all.
The pot.
Yeah. If you are on the nun, you don't get to take anything.
Dance.
Nothing. Nun, nothing. These are all the Hebrew letters that are on the sides of
Yeah.
the dreidel. If you get a hey, you take half of whatever's in the middle. And if you get a shin, you have to put another coin into the pot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do not want a shin. That's
Exactly.
not good.
Yeah. So I know there are a couple of different ways of playing. I know different traditions have slightly different ways, but that's the most popular way of playing. That's the way I grew up.
Yeah. Does it ever get played in like casinos? Because it could be good, I think, in a casino.
Not that I know of.
Because have you ever been to the casino?
Like a casino?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you've seen people play like two up
Yeah.
and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which is just someone throwing a coin in the air.
Yeah.
It's just heads and tails. Dreidel would be pretty exciting.
But they'd have to amend it to something else, or you'd play like the actual dreidel game.
People don't care what's on it. They just want to know what wins and what loses.
Yeah.
So anyone would play that.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I've
Cool.
played...
Maybe we can look into it.
Yeah, like I've played like mahjong and stuff like that at a casino, and I don't know what the rules are.
I have no
You
idea.
just
what
put your
it
money
is.
down and see what happens. Like, it's
Is
a
that
game
your
of
like
chance.
just your life motto?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just Wing it.
Yeah. So do you want to have a guess why we play dreidel?
Why do you play dreidel?
Yeah.
Because you probably only do it during Hanukkah though, right?
I mean, you can do it there's no rule against doing it other times of the year, but it's specifically a Hanukkah thing.
Okay. No, I don't know.
No, nothing comes to mind. It's probably a pretty obscure reason. I mean, it seems obvious to me, but that's probably just because...
Yeah, I was going to say maybe because you're bored, but I don't
know.
No,
so remember when the Greeks were oppressing the Jews and they weren't letting them learn Torah or do anything like that?
Is this where this started?
Yeah, so what used to happen is they used to learn Torah in secret. And then when the Greeks came, they used to quickly put away... I suppose they had scrolls. They probably didn't have binded books then. But bound books? Binded? Bound? Bounded.
I think.
It's definitely bounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't have bounded books then. So they probably had scrolls. They'd quickly put that away. Or if they didn't have scrolls, if they were learning from the oral tradition, like just off memory, they would probably just quickly pull out the dreidels and pretend to be playing a gambling game.
Very crafty.
Very crafty.
What they needed was a bound book of the Torah.
Yeah.
And a larger book that they could put the Torah inside of.
Like a
which
dreidel
wasn't
manual.
The Torah. Yeah. Which was like Greek history 101.
Yeah.
So when they came around, they were like, oh, just like, learning my
that
Greek
could have worked
history.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been way better.
Anyway, so now we play dreidel as like a bit of a commemoration for that.
Fun.
Yeah, it's
fun.
Awesome. I think those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the traditions of Hanukkah.
I can get on board with them.
Yeah, they're
pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't mind them.
Any questions regarding those sort of traditions? I mean, they're the main ones. There are a couple of like...
Where there are rules, I feel like there are punishments for breaking them.
Well, the only real thing you have to do is light the menorah.
Yeah.
Light the Hanukkah. You don't have to play dreidel. You don't have to eat latkes and donuts. You obviously don't have to give presents. Those are all things just to make... I mean, they're little ritual things that are, like commemorate what actually happened. But the real big thing is the lighting.
What happens if you don't do it? If you don't light it? Or have you never found out because you've just always lit it?
Well, nothing's going to happen. Like, you're not going to get struck by lightning.
Disappointing.
Well, think about how many Jews don't do lots of things. How many of them don't eat kosher? How many of them... I mean, think about all the things that I don't do that I should do. Or things that I do that I shouldn't do. So, like, I think it's just... if you want to talk about reward and punishment, we're going to need a whole nother episode.
I did do a little bit of reading about the other commandments, but that's going to be a whole thing because I've got questions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We can do that. But that's about it. That summarizes the rituals of the what to do on Hanukkah.
It's fun. I want to get involved.
Sure. You want to play dreidel?
Oh, not right now.
Why not?
Well, it's not very... it's not a very great game for this medium.
Yeah, that's
I feel
fair.
like. We can do a little secret video later, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next Hanukkah, I'm going to get on board.
Okay,
with
cool.
everything.
I'm excited.
I'm
Well,
gonna do
particularly
it.
the latkes and donuts, I feel like.
Yeah, that's all I want. I just
Yeah.
want the latkes. They sound
Yeah.
so delicious.
I know you will.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our first segment of today. Let's do vocabulary.
Let's do it.
I have one. I think you already know this one, but I think it's good to get it out there, teach some of our listeners, and also maybe you can explain it to me, because the word for today is chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting pretty good at that.
You are getting. You've really developed a knack for getting the chuz right.
Yeah. Chutzpah, to what I know, means like you've got confidence. You've got balls about you.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think there's a connotation. That's a bit of a positive connotation, right?
Or maybe it's like you've got some misguided confidence.
Okay, so chutzpah actually refers to like cheekiness. Like you've got audacity. You've got, you know what I mean? You've got like a boldness that's mostly a little bit negative. I think over time it's now used in that way. Like you can use it in like a business sense. Like, oh, he's got chutzpah.
Oh, but
he's
you could be like
confidence.
Oh, he's got some chutzpah about him.
That's exactly the way you'd use it.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's a bit chutzpah.
Like when you told everyone you were going to start a podcast and all your friends behind your back were like, oh, the chutzpah on this guy.
That was the epitome of being chutzpah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a good word.
Yeah.
It's better because I thought it was just like a good thing. Now knowing that it's not necessarily that, it's way better.
It's all about the way you say it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so if somebody, I don't know, does something really gutsy, you could be like, whoa, that takes chutzpah.
Got a lot of chutzpah.
But if someone does something that's really, I don't know, cheeky or sort of inappropriate and like
arrogant?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can be like, that was chutzpah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of chutzpah. Like kids can have a lot of chutzpah.
Yeah, those cheeky kids.
Yeah. There was I can't remember where it is. I can't remember the source. It's probably from some Jewish literature or something. But there's like the classic example of what it means to have chutzpah, and this is really negative. It's like a person who murders his parents, gets brought to trial, and then tries to plead for his defense by saying, "Forgive, like, go easy on me. I'm an orphan." Like that's chutzpah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
a self-made orphan.
Yeah, that's crazy chutzpah.
When Moses parted the sea,
Yeah.
surely they were like, look at that chutzpah. That
Why?
is some chutzpah.
Moses
But like in a positive way, because it's like, whoa.
No, I think if you're going to do like a Moses chutzpah comparison, you'd best go to when like Moses first approaches Pharaoh in Egypt and demands that Pharaoh releases all the Jews from slavery.
Yeah, the Pharaoh was there just like tapping his foot,
Yeah,
his
it's
cane.
like, who is this chutzpah
Yeah,
dude?
you've got some chutzpah.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what he said.
Okay. Yeah, to be fair, when he parted the sea, most of the people were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Then
They're probably more
speechless.
amazed.
You've never seen that before.
Yeah.
100%.
Or since.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's chutzpah. That's our vocabulary for today.
Beautiful.
Awesome. All right, what do you want to do next?
Shall we go?
Lay your idea on me.
enJEWpreneur?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This was smash. This was a good segment last week.
Yeah.
And when we think back to episode 2, the Kippah,
Yeah.
we were brainstorming some ideas then. I suggested kipjamas.
Oh, like novelty kippot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Kippah you could sleep in.
I've got some positive feedback about the pajama kippahs, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are into it.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Silk, beautiful, comfortable kipjamas.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is another Kippah idea.
Awesome.
It's on your head.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
Always on your head. What apart from Hashem, what else is always above you during the daytime?
Like the sky.
What's in the sky?
The sun.
Yes.
Yes.
Solar powered Kippah.
A solar powered kippah.
Yeah.
What
Not
do you
necessarily
need the
it's solar powered because the Kippah doesn't need to be
Yeah, that's
powered.
what I was going to ask. Like, what does the
Okay,
kippah do that
like
requires solar power?
Like it stores the energy from the sun.
Like
and
solar
lets you
panels.
power things. Yes.
Like a kippah made out of solar panels.
Like a hot water system on your head.
And
then-
I like
Yes.
this.
The sun's rays rain down on it.
Good,
It
good,
harnesses
good.
that energy. And you can use it to charge your phone.
So how do you charge it? How would I charge my phone?
It's got a little USB port.
And I would just be sitting on my phone and it'd be like a cord like earphones, but it'd just go to my kippah.
Well, that's the only drawback, is you can't take the Kippah off your head.
Yeah.
So maybe you could do a quick switch, an Indiana Jones style thing, where you go one Kippah on, one Kippah off, and your head never notices.
That's amazing. And then every time you go outside, you just put on the solar panel kippah.
Yeah.
That's
But even because
it.
because with those solar powered things, you have to like go and put it down somewhere in the sun. This is always on your head.
And if you're just walking or you're in the sun, you don't have to do anything extra. You're like right there.
It's a brilliant idea.
It's a fantastic idea.
And if you do just plug your phone directly into it,
yeah,
who cares if you look silly? Everyone's going to be so envious.
that's brilliant.
If someone comes up, that would be the case where someone could come up to you and be like, hey, what's up with your Jew hat? Because they'd be like, oh, not the hat. Like you're charging your phone with your hat?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And
like
that's an
it.
acceptable time to ask that question.
That's really good. I like it. I'm really into this idea.
It's beautiful.
Well done.
Kipjamas.
Much better than last week's one.
You know, we could even combine them. Say you were going on like a camping trip.
Yeah.
You could all day be out doing your activities,
Yeah.
storing up this energy.
Yeah.
Then when you go to sleep, you take it off
Put on
by your bedside. Charge
You
your
don't
phone.
have to be camping. You could do that even when you're at home.
Yeah, but if you're at home, you just plug it into the power.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
And you might not be outdoors the whole day.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I like it.
Very good. Would you invest in that one?
Yes, I absolutely
Yeah.
would.
100%.
Not that I have money to invest, but I would at least buy one.
Oh, yeah. Everyone would, I
Absolutely.
think.
The only thing we'd have to work on is like, aren't solar panels hard? Wouldn't you have to like make a sort of bendy one?
Surely that exists. I think
don't
that
know.
exists already.
I don't know.
There's glass you can like roll up now. So surely you can do that.
There's glass you can roll up.
Yeah. Well, like what about like...
Like on a phone screen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Really?
Bendy stuff, yeah. And like... what
Like
about,
one of those bendy rulers that you had at school.
Yeah,
Did you ever
yeah,
have that? That's
yeah.
awesome.
Like fiber optic cable. That's glass.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, well, it is. There you go. The more you know. Surely. Maybe the technology doesn't exist. This might be another reverse blender type deal where the technology is not quite there, but,
I think this is a lot better than the reverse blender idea.
Yeah, that's what we need. It's a startup. We need some funding.
Excellent. Yeah, cool. All right, so we'll set up like a Kickstarter page or something for the solar-powered panel kipper.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The sun kipper.
That's really good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Probably the best one we've had so far.
Alrighty, do we have some time for...
I think we've got some time. I think we've got a little bit of time.
One question.
We've
You've got
time.
mail?
Open up the mailbag.
All right, let's do. You've got mail.
I wonder what it's going to be. I haven't read them.
You haven't read this one?
No. I haven't read any of the new ones.
All right. I don't know if I should use a...
Do you want me to give you a name?
An alias or not. Yeah, give me a name.
For a male, female, non-Jew? Jew?
I don't know if they're Jewish or not Jewish, but female?
Female.
And again, in today's world, I don't even know if they're male or female.
I'm going to say Dreidella.
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 Does that have anything to do with the word dreidel?
Nope.
Nope. You did glance down into the table and looked at the dreidel.
No, prove it.
Okay, so she says, completely random question. My, in brackets, very basic understanding of the function of the temple was that Jewish people offered sacrifices there, and in return their sins were forgiven by God. With the destruction of the temple and the inability to perform sacrifices to God, how are sins forgiven so that the Jewish people can be declared righteous?
Good question, Dreidella.
Yeah, it's also a very topical one because it has to do with the temple and Hanukkah has to do with the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, I don't have the answer.
I thought you said I have an answer.
You have the answer?
I thought you said you have an answer.
Oh, I have no answer. But I do know how sins are forgiven in like the Catholic Church and Christianity.
Do share.
Just say you're sorry to a
like
priest.
Confession.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just go in a little booth and be like, sorry. I'm like, okay. Say this prayer 5 times. One time I was at primary school, if you'll allow me to get a little bit anecdotal for a bit.
I would love you to.
So I was in primary school. Probably like year 4.
Yep.
Maybe. I'm at a Catholic primary school.
Awesome.
And we're playing handball at lunch.
Yeah.
Foursquare. Some people might know it.
Is that like push ball?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, could be. You all stand in a little square, you hit the ball.
Yes, yeah.
It was the best time of your entire life as a kid.
Yeah. It's like heaven. Yeah. Cool.
So I lost and I said shit. The word shit.
Yeah.
And a teacher heard me. And I was like, oh no. Like I am in so much trouble.
Yeah.
And she was like, come with me. And she took me towards like where the principal's office is. And she sat me down and she was like, sit here and say 24 Hail Marys. So you say the Hail Mary prayer 24 times.
How long is it?
Hail Mary full of grace. I don't remember it. It takes about like, and you can really go through it quickly if you're like, I got handball to play. It's like,
okay.
Hail Mary full of grace, blah, blah, blah. Like, you just go through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a sweet punishment.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's like writing on a chalkboard, but without having to do the writing.
Yeah, especially
Jeez.
to a kid who was very skeptical about this whole religion thing anyway.
Yeah.
Water off a duck's back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
So didn't answer your question, Dre.
No, I mean, that's
I'm sure
good.
You've got the answer.
Yeah, I like hearing. I mean, it's a pretty busy question. There are lots of components to it.
A lot of stuff.
So the first one is, yes, there were sacrifices, animal sacrifices in the temple. Lots of animal sacrifices. They weren't all about forgiving sins. Most of the ritual ones actually weren't about forgiving sins. They were personal. You could bring a personal sacrifice if you wanted to say you're sorry for a specific sin. With the temple being gone after it was destroyed, the temple services, the sacrifices, were all replaced with prayers. So most of the prayers that Jews say today are sort of in... I don't know what the word is.
So it's pretty similar.
In place of the services, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like what I was talking about.
So if you want to do forgiveness, you can always do forgiveness any way you want. You can, during your normal prayers, you can ask God for forgiveness. There are specific prayers that we say every day that ask for general forgiveness, and you can always specify something individual. There's no such thing as confession to a rabbi or anything like that. There is nothing equivalent of like a Hail Mary, where like you can just say it a certain amount of times. There are specific forgiveness prayers, but really the greatest opportunity to get forgiveness and to repent is the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, which is Yom Kippur, which, as you know, is not my favorite day of the year. It's quite a difficult day. You fast, you spend all day in synagogue.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it is a day dedicated to really forgiving and atonement and stuff like that. But there's always opportunities in normal prayer during the year.
Okay. That's a lot better than the sacrifices. Definitely.
animal sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably talk about the temple service as well. I mean, there are so many topics we need to cover in I'm Talking to Jew.
Yeah. Definitely just saying a little prayer is a lot nicer than killing a little animal.
Yeah, I agree. Look, suffice it to say here, it's just a totally, totally different time. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
It's so hard to think, how would an animal sacrifice do this sort of divine service? Like, how would it manifest? How would divine service manifest itself in sacrificing an animal?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd have to put ourselves in the mindset of a religion that started 3,000 years ago.
And you can't. That's too hard.
It's very difficult.
Oh,
All right, well, that's it. That's all we've got for today's episode of I'm Talking to Jew.
that's a big one.
Yeah, it was a big one. We wrapped up Hanukkah.
It's wrapped up in a nice little parcel.
Yeah, should we just tell everybody what's the hap for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, because you're going away.
Yeah, I'm going away. I'm going down south for a bit. So what we're going to do is we've got 2 episodes prepared. They're going to be little mini episodes.
Minisodes.
We're going to put them out same time as usual. It's just because I know that everyone needs a little bit of holiday listening. We're going to tackle some less heady topics. We're probably just going to talk about Jews and Christmas, Jews and the relationship with non-Jews, Gentiles in general.
Yeah, I do find it very annoying
Yeah.
that as someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas,
Yeah.
you're going away for Christmas and I will be sitting behind my desk
Yeah.
wanting to be on holiday.
I'll be thinking about you. But then again, you can take off like Passover next year. I'm okay with that.
Is that the cheesecake one?
Nope.
I missed Cheesecake Festival this year and I do not want to miss it again.
Because I came back with like a whole tray of leftover cheesecake,
Yeah.
which I try to do every year because I know everyone loves cheesecake. I brought it in, and then what were you, sick? Away?
I don't know, but I wasn't there.
Yeah,
That's the important thing.
Well,
and I love
you
cheesecake.
missed out.
It
But
was the worst.
it'll come around. I promise.
Okay.
All right. Well, so that's the plan. So if you haven't subscribed, if you're listening to this, but you haven't subscribed to us on SoundCloud or iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure you do that and you'll get the episodes straight in. If you are subscribed on iTunes, please review and rate us. It really helps us. Hashtag taking on Joe Rogan. We're really trying to get up there.
I've really got beef with Rogan.
Yeah, you got beef with a lot of people. I actually had someone message me and say, maybe tell Cal to ease up on the beef on Ishmael thing, because, you know, Ishmael's like an ancestor of Islam, and they might not take too kindly to that.
Yeah, look, we're going to probably need a Cal versus Ishmael episode. Because I have got more beef than a stroganoff with Ishmael.
Yeah.
I am full of beef.
I told this person that Cal's just a big talker. You put a microphone in front of him and he just says things. He actually loves Ishmael. He's just trying to, you know.
Sometimes I need to work through my beef to understand Ishmael's perspective, you know?
Okay. Sure.
And it's like I've got beef with the Greeks as well.
You got beef
I'm
with
still
everyone.
off those dirty Greeks.
I'm sure when we get to like talking about kosher, you're going to have beef with Judaism as well. You're just not going to like the fact that we don't eat pork.
I feel like it's important for me to have beef with everyone.
I think so too. And beef is kosher, so that's okay.
Yeah, you can have beef too if you want.
You can, yeah. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to us, review, rate, and where else can people get in touch with us, Cal?
Well, exciting news.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram now.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Instagram. We're cool.
We got memes and hashtags and whatever else you do on Instagram. We're on there.
We even put up a picture of our unpaid intern, which also happens to be my dog.
Jabu.
Yeah.
The man.
He's there just doing a mic check for us
Yeah, we'll basically just be pictures of your dog.
in different podcast poses.
Yeah,
know.
which is great.
Yeah, awesome. I like it. So find us there. Find us on Facebook and Twitter. All of our social media handles are at Talking Jew. If you want to ask a question, you can email us at talkingjew@gmail.com.
That's us.
And otherwise, get in touch with us any way you want.
Yeah. And I think that rounds off Hanukkah. Hope it was a good
Excellent.
time.
Happy Hanukkah to all. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate that. Happy New Year to everyone.
Hanukkah Samayach.
Sameach, good.
Beautiful.
Excellent. See you guys.